Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whatever time it is for you on cycling, it's time for more Let's Play Training Simulator. We're going to go ahead and do scenario number 7, the Saturday Stakes today. And unlike with other routes, this is not going to be the last time I go here in the current iteration. I actually want to come back and do a custom scenario or two, and also these rail fans. So even though I'm publishing this probably on the Friday, because this is going to be our Friday publication, route came out a week ago and a week and a day ago at this point. So I'm getting this out literally to finish off the official scenarios. I'm going to probably put out the railfan scenarios tomorrow. And I'm going to then add, I'm going to fix all the scenarios that are refusing to clear my score by my little tricks. And once that's done, I'm going to start working on some of the, at least one of the workshop scenarios. I want to get at least one workshop scenario in here and try out a workshop creation as well. So that is what my plan is for this weekend. I'm going to consider what I want to do next week as possibly something new on Tuesday. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do on Tuesday. I may find something else to do on this route, and then if I do that, then my new stuff will definitely be on Friday, because I have to mix it up a little bit here. But I'm definitely going to try and do something new either on Tuesday or Friday next week. So keep an eye out for that. For right now, though, we do have Saturday Stakes on this wonderful, wonderful Long Island Railroad route. I've been enjoying this route immensely, so I'm glad that we have a route like this that is also really useful for workshop use. I want to actually build stuff on here as well. As I've said multiple times already, I have multiple ideas, and I want to see if I can put any of them into practice here. So when I do that, I'll be making videos for those scenarios as well, and I'll be publishing the scenarios around the same time as I make them. I think that's what my plan is going to be. I'm going to try to make them, I'm going to try to play them, I'm going to make sure they work, and then I'll get them published. That's basically what's going to happen. So keep an eye out for that in the future as well. I've got lots planned to do here. In the meantime, let's look at the final included career scenario, Saturday Stakes. We're heading to Belmont, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get busy. Good evening, engineers. Set up the train and proceed as signals allow to Belmont Park, track 8. Please ensure the switches are set correctly to allow us access onto the main line. So I've already been trying to do this scenario as well. I'll talk about this in a moment, but let's go ahead and get the train set up as well. So we're going to bring the train down to a no brake setting. Maybe. Oh. If I can go the correct way. Here we go. So now let's go ahead and see. Oh, let's turn the headlights on. Why not? And let's just see what I've done. Okay, that works. Quick peek at the map. We're heading there. That's not what I want to look at right now. What I want to look at is the switches, which are all apparently set for us. So we're good to go. Next thing I want to look at is the signal, which, yeah, you can see the green indicator on the switches, so they are good. So the signal itself is also apparently all set for us. You can see it is showing a slow clear. So on to the main line we go. I'm punching the speed just slightly over 10 because we should not be speeding coming out of the yard here. Thank you for the warning. For the 15, we're already expected to be going. We're coming up to a 20 indicator as well, which we should get... No, we're not getting an alert for it. Okay. Maybe at the end of the station we'll get the alert. A little bit of a lag pause there. There it is. So I'm going to bring up the FPS for a moment to show what our FPS in the game is. I'm getting a 25 right now. I can get over a 30 on this route, but I've come to find out, and this may change over the course of this week because there is a whole week of development between when I'm recording this and when I'm actually publishing this. And DTG is aware of the FPS issues that have to do with this train. So I'm kind of also doing this in case they want some more data research for this in case it's not fixed at the end of the week. So yeah, I'm running at 25 right now. If I pull out of the train, I look at the train like this way. Let's just pull the picture down a little bit here. You can see I'm getting a 17 right now. And if I go to the back of the train, 15. If I do this, try and look at the train this way, I'm getting a 19, look 20, look at the building, I'm getting a 20, well 17, look back at Jamaica, I'm getting a 15 again. It turns out Jamaica is also, I go 15 by the way, it turns out Jamaica is also really, really slow, because if I go back into Jamaica, you're going to notice I'm getting a very, very, well I'm getting 17 now, but I have at times inside Jamaica gotten a 15. There we go. I haven't at times in Jamaica gotten a 15 because there's just so many graphics going on here. I'm getting a 20 right now. It's actually really good today. But there have been times I've gotten only a 15 going through Jamaica, so it does vary from time to time. Let's turn the FPS back off. Constantly on our drive. I did get my speed up to 15 while I was outside the train, which is quite, well, remarkable. That I can drive the train from outside the train. Simulators, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. We're being alerted to the fact we're going to be entering a 30? I guess we're being alerted to 30 for some reason. Yeah, being alerted to 30. The signal we crossed just told us 30, so that's what we were being alerted to. Now, I didn't get a good look at the signal, but I think it was an approach medium. It could be a different signal we were passing at. I saw the signal as it went by at the top, and I didn't quite catch what the aspect said. I can start speeding up. We're going to watch for a slow approach or a medium clear signal here, because those are going to be the next signals that are of interest to us. That is a medium clear signal. I should be going 40. Why am I not speeding up? Let's speed up a little more, shall we? This is going to hurt me when I go to get to Belmont. This is going to hurt my Belmont arrival time right here. I can feel it already. The pain, it hurts. We're being alerted for the slowdown to 40, even though we're not at 40 yet. We have to acknowledge that we are allowed only 40. 60 is now possible. Maybe it was a slowdown to 60. Whoa, what on earth? Of course. I managed to break things already because I was only allowed to go 40 by the train. Even though the game showed me 60, I was only allowed 40 by the train permission. Just as it lifted to 80. So that's what you call timing, ladies and gentlemen. That's the train trying to help you do your job correctly. So we might get a 70 at this signal coming up here, which means we're not going to be able to go full speed 80, if I'm reading this correctly. Yeah, we're going to be getting a 70 right at this signal, so we can't go beyond 70 right now. There it is. So I'm going to have to push this as much as I can for right now. I'm going to go ahead and let the train slow me down at this point, rather than do it myself. There's the 40. So now since it started slowing me down, I'm going to go ahead and increase the brake application. I've responded to the signal. So we're going to go ahead and increase the brake application. I'm going to decrease that application as we get into the 40s. So I'm going to bring it back to minimum brake and coast. And now I'm going to push it back up. Because I don't want to lose all that speed yet. We can still go 40 for a little while. Unfortunately, you can't just stop the braking right at 40. If you try to put the throttle up even at 39, the train will respond to you and try to get you to... hello. The train will actually tell you, no, you can't do that. That's basically what I'm trying to say. So I'm at the top of the 40 limit right now. Even if I hit 41, I wouldn't be speeding, but the train would basically slow me back to a 36. So I have to stay within the 41 area. This signal will not do anything, this track junction, whatever it was. So this is going to leave us where we are right now. And Queens Village, that signal will drop us to a 15. I do want to have control over my 15 speed because I don't want to drop below 15. So I'm going to go ahead and keep, do a slight decrease starting slightly before the station. So right about now, I'm going to get down to the 15 in time. The objective is reach the 15 in time, which may not happen at this pace. Nope, it's going to happen. Minimal brake now. Can actually coast for a moment so I can make sure I don't lose too much speed. There we go. 15.5 will do for now. I didn't quite catch the signal there. I think it was like a slow clear or something like that. No, that was actually a restricting signal. Sorry, the diagonal was pointing to the right. That was a restricting signal. So I'm going to drop to 10. I'm going to eventually bring that back to a 5. My ETA is actually really good right now. My ETA is doing splendid at this time for Belmont Park. No problems with this right now. I need to get down to 5, though. I'm probably going to get a positive stop request in a moment if I don't do it. So I have to keep doing it myself little by little if I don't want the train to tell me what to do. I'm at 5.7 right now. I'm going to have to lower that a little bit before I get to the downhill segment, because once I hit the downhill segment, the train is going to try to push me into speeding territory. And I'm doing really well for my ETA right now. I don't want to push this too much. I might just try to keep it right around 5.5. I'll treat the 5.5 as my maximum once I reach the downhill. The most annoying thing with this kind of setup on the 5, there's another restricting signal. The most annoying thing with this kind of setup on the 5 miles per hour is that if your muscle reflexes get you to push the wrong button, if you push A instead of D, all of a sudden you're speeding. So you have to be really, really careful with what button you push here, because you're going to be going DA, 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 DA a lot, and if you somehow hit A or you hold it down for too long or you don't hold D long enough, you're just going to suddenly go up in speed and there's nothing you can do about it. And you're going to have to explain to the boss what happened the next morning. So here's the 5.8. So I saw it was trying to tick up. So I'm dropping it just under 5 a little bit right now to make sure I have a little bit more control over what happens to me. My ETA is actually just a shade in the 18:15 right now. So I'm actually slated to be early at this point for my stop, which I'm not complaining. I don't mind being early. But I will tell you this. I've already driven this journey at least once trying to do this, and I actually started speeding as I was 6 cars to the platform. So needless to say, and that was one of my slower runs, so I had to push it on that one. So this is not a journey that you want to actually have to repeat. You don't want to repeat this journey, trust me. Just get this done correctly. Get the stop made however far in the platform you have to be to do it. Even if you're not all the way in, get the stop made and don't fret about it anymore. If 2 cars are not in, well, you know what? It's not our fault that people at the station the people setting up the schedule didn't tell people, hey, you can't board these cars. If just playing works on the line, that works. There's 5.5. That's my operating limit right now for myself, just to give myself the extra flexibility on speeding in case I accidentally hit the power. This is why I gave myself a 5.5 operating limit, because I'm only speeding when I hit 6. I went up to 5.7 for a moment when I just stopped and looked at something on my desk. And 5.6 there. This is why I give myself that limit. If you put yourself right at the 5.9 as your limit, and you hit 6, you're speeding. I held the brake for a little too long there, but I'm still okay for time, so it's alright. Running up to 5 pretty quickly anyway again. So we're going to veer to the right here because track 8 is the furthest right. Now, I always wonder why there are 8 platforms here, because we're only having 2 trains come in. I wonder if the 8 platforms are used when the biggest races go on, like the Belmont Stakes, the Triple Crown race. Maybe there's a lot more trains coming in for the Triple Crown. Maybe that's when all 8 platforms end up getting used. So, other than that, most of these platforms are just, who cares? It's like lull. So we have gotten the quarter of a mile successfully. Now we just have to make sure we don't speed into the platform. And this is where all that hard work can go to waste and can cause you to become a little upset and not want to play anymore if you mess this up. If you're going for that perfect run, this is where you get your points, right here. This is where the perfect run is won or lost, right on this station. After this shouldn't be a problem. 5 cars are in. Let's get it all in. We have the time. Now it means we're gonna have to spend a little extra time going on that 5 miles per hour on the way out because we're getting the whole train in. But if you want to be proper, you should get the whole train in. So I'm gonna try and do it proper to see if it can be done. 4.8. Car number 7 is now wearing the platform. Just a couple more drops here, and we're good to go. Actually, you know what? I can bring it to a stop. I can bring it to a stop now, I think. I'm going to go forward just a wee bit more because I have the time. And let's look at the back of the train. We are definitely in the platform, so I'm going to stop the train right now. And that is that. Doors are going to be open at Belmont Park. I'm going to turn the headlights off on this side. I'm going to shut the cab down on this side. There we go. I'm going to change to the front cab. Like that. I'm going to turn it on. That's not what I want to do. I want to do that. Close these as well. Thank you. And let's just get this train set up to go. So put this into forward. Put this into a minimal brake. Not coast. Minimal brake. Stop. Wow, that was nearly bad, ladies and gentlemen. Headlights are going to go on. And let's look at the train as we get ready to depart. Okay, engineer, we are ready to depart. Our first stop will be Queens Village. Once passengers have disembarked at New York Penn, our final destination, we will lay up in Woodside Yard. Remember to obey all signals and only proceed as they allow. So it says Woodside Yard. Let me just point out where it is we're actually going here when we say that. So I'm going to go to the map and pause for a second, zoom out where we are, get the lock off my train. Here's what we're going to be doing as I remain paused for a moment. We're going to be heading to Queens Village, which track 3 is the northern one. There's actually another train that has actually pulled in to make a stop here in the meantime. So we're going to be going to track 3, which is to the north. I think it's going to get to go before we do. So we'll try and get a quick look at it. It's going to be hard to do when I'm trying to maintain 5 miles an hour though. Going to Jamaica from there, which is back here. There's another train now up in the, I think the area where we started, there's another train that has pulled in there. That was not there before, I don't think. I don't think that train was there previously. Interesting. Very interesting. Woodside track is our next stop up here. So Woodside track number 3. We're going to be going to the middle of the tracks here. So the tracks to the left, to the right again, are the ones for the Port Washington branch. Are the ones that veer off there on that corner right there. So we're going to the ones further down, not on the Port Washington tracks. We're going to then continue up to Herald Interlocking, of course, which is up here, and then into the tunnels, which is down here. We're going to go right past Hunters Point Avenue, which is a different track. We're going to continue on in the tunnels. Those tunnels, not the ones that extend to the right, not the ones that extend to Long Island City. And we're going to keep going until we get to New York Penn, which is along here. You can see there's a couple trains hanging out here today at heading for Babylon and Long Beach. They will eventually come towards us, I'm pretty sure. We're going to stop in track 17, 2 tracks to the south of where they're starting. So let's go ahead and zoom back where we are. We're going to go ahead and get our journey started right now, heading to Queens Village, track number 3. So doing that, we're going to go ahead. I already had train forward because I was forward thinking. We're going to apply a little burst of power to get up to speed a little quicker, and then we're going to go ahead and cut it back to minimal. And at this point, we're going to be doing the same thing we did coming in, but in reverse. So now we want to get up to 5.5 miles per hour and then allow the speed to drop a little bit. So 5.5 again being my operating limit. That means I have a little room to go over by a couple hundredths of a mile, but I'm going to be treating 5.5 as my operating limit. So you can see right there I managed to stop it at 5.5, and that's good. I'm back down to 5. I went to 5.6 slightly, but that's okay because you're not going to be speeding within this half a mile. Just a constant back and forth between 5 and 5.5. In this case, I did hit 5.6 again. Now, I may not have an opportunity to see this train leave up ahead. Going up slightly just to see if I can get a look at the map up here as we watch for it to leave. It is leaving. It is actually going by right now. You can actually see it if we zoom in. You can see the train just going by there in the zoomed in view. So we did have a brief view of it. So that was a nice little thing to see as we were leaving. And actually, I'm curious now where that train's going. Let me pause again for a second. I want to know where he's going. He's heading to Huntington. That's 7724 to Huntington. He's got a long way to go. So let's go back to our train. We're going to keep right on going. Whoa! This is why you give yourself the operating limit, guys. I actually hit the throttle for a second. So we should have the track clear for us when we get up there, or at least so I hope. It may not be clear until we get a little closer. Let's see what we have up ahead. We have a blue line. Oh yeah, tracks are clear. We're good. We're doing really good here. I can see Queens Village 3 coming along in the absolute right part of the HUD right now, behind that E sign at the end. Rather ahead of, right? Behind, ahead of, it's behind in our view. And I'm not really obeying my 5.5 operating limit anymore. That's going to bite me if I keep doing that. So let's just keep working on the 5.5. Most of this is a slow drive out into Queens Village. We're going to have a very small portion where we can actually accelerate. We're going to be aiming to be a couple minutes early here anyway, the way this is working. Our ETA keeps flashing back and forth. So as we get under 4, it starts slowing down. As we get above 5, it starts going... let me try that again. As it gets above 5, it keeps going down. As it goes below 4, it keeps going up. So I got to the 5.7, it went to 10 seconds, and as my speed decreases, it goes to 11 and 12 until I go back up again. The problem is you can't maintain a constant speed, so it's impossible to actually do this in a way where you can actually maintain the pace necessary. This is a slow clear. You may remember we had a reversing on the way in. That was diagonal in the other direction. So this is a slow clear. Very slow clear. Now, despite the bouncing seconds, we actually did gain a second, by the way. But despite the bouncing seconds, it should be pointed out that we actually have a lot of time to make the stop. We have 4 full minutes to make the stop from where we are now. We're only going 3.5 hundredths of a mile is all we're going. And we're going to be going into a 80 again very shortly. It's just a matter of when we're going to be allowed to go that speed, probably when the sign fully crosses the back of the train. And then we're going to get dropped to a 15 anyway, so 15 is actually our effective limit. Despite the 80 there, we're taking the transfer junction. The junction limit is a 15. So we're on 80 track right now, but we're not going to be staying on this track. We're getting to the end of the downhill, so I can start maintaining speed in a moment. I need to be alerted to the 15, of course. So we're alerted to the 15. Consider ourselves alerted. We're going to have 30 further out on the other tracks. Part of our train is still on the downhill, so we're not being affected as badly as we were before. I'm going to go ahead and stick it up to 5.5, which is our operating limit. I'm going to hold it there for a moment. So my hands are currently off the keyboard because I don't have to worry about the speed problems right now with the train being dragged back. We are fully passing the signal, but we are still partly in the 5. That 80 marks when the speed changes back out of the 5. So we have to maintain the current speed. 30 is going to be our new operating speed once we get out of the 15. And once this 80 gets past car number 8, it's on car number 7 right now. Once it gets to car number 8, we can move up a little further, a little quicker. Our current stop time is 18:24 and change. We have until 18:25:30 to make this stop. So we are losing time as we continue to crawl in this 5. But we're going to start to gain speed now as we can punch up to 15. Indeed, that is going to be our train maximum at this time. I actually want to go a little more. So we're going to hold it right there. And now we're pulling in Queens Village, so even though we got a 30, I can actually pull forward a little bit with minimal power, but then I'm going to have to bring it to a stop. So we're going to use a little bit of minimal power to give ourselves as much stop time as we can, and let's go ahead and do that now. Now there is debate, I think, on whether this is actually a stop on this journey. I don't think it is. I think the first stop is supposed to be Jamaica. Queens Village is just too close to Belmont that I can't see why this would be a stop. But then trains have done stranger things. So we're fully on the platform. That is arrival at Queens Village track number 3. Doors are open. Leaving Queens Village, it's now a regular journey for us. We're taking the track to Jamaica right now. And as you may have noticed, as we pulled to a stop at Queens Village, our speed did upgrade to 80 miles per hour on both indicators. So we're going to be leaving at a full speed charge to get to Jamaica as quickly as we can. So I'm going to go ahead and just take a quick peek at the top of the train here as we now get to go at a nice reasonable clip. And let's look at what our train number is today. We are train number... It's not going to tell me. Okay, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. I can't even know what my train number is. Okay. Oh, it's because it's that end of the train. 7911, Belmont Park to New York Penn. So we're going to try and get this close to 80, but we're going to get dropped by the time we get to Hillside. I think the signal at Hillside might be dropping us. I don't think it might be the Hollis one too, now that I think about it. There's a track circuit. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and coast now because we're going to lose speed soon anyway. So there's no point trying to maintain the 80 for too long. You can see the 40 up ahead. So, yeah, it might be the signal 0.9 of a mile for now, but I'm more inclined to say the Hillside one is going to be the one that drops us. Just my inclination. And the signal a mile away now is going to be the one that takes us to 40. We're probably going to get dropped to a 15 by the time we get to the one that's a little over a mile away now. So here's our first drop, I think. Knew it. That's why I started braking. We still have plenty of time according to the ETA for our stop, so I'm not worried about the stop at all. Yet. I just held the 65 pace to see what the train does at this next signal, and I knew it was going to go down. That's why I wanted to maintain my speed for a little while. So I've now responded to the signal. We're going straight to a 30. Is that what it says? No, 40. Okay. Shush. So going back to FPS explorations for a moment as we're approaching Jamaica, I'm going to wait until we get into the 20 and then we'll take a look at what the FPS is. There's a train over there you can see right now, 8705 to wait a second. 6126 to Babylon is the one I was trying to read. 8705 to Jamaica is apparently a train going in the same direction as us, which might be waiting for us now that I'm looking at it. I don't know why, there's 8 platforms. Ooh, we got 2 diagonals, one above the other. I don't think I've seen that signal in any of my playthroughs yet, so I need to actually cover what that is. I'm too busy slowing down right now, so I'll tell you in a moment. Okay. Okay, that signal that we just saw was the approach slow signal. That means that we must proceed approaching the next signal at a slow speed, which is basically what I've ended up doing. What just happened? Oh, I'm at a 15 now, that's why. Of course, I'm at a 15 now. Makes sense. Am I in penalty mode right now? I'm in a key out setting for some reason. Let's not do that. Whoa. I am not driving this train properly right now, guys. My goodness, I'm basically butchering the operation of this train right now. We're going to be on time, by the way. But let's just go back to that approach slow signal for a moment, because again, that's the first time we've seen the 2 diagonal lines. Proceed approaching the next signal at slow speed. Trains exceeding medium speed must at once reduce to that speed. And you can go 40, 30, or 15. In this case, we're going 15 because we're approaching Jamaica. And so you have to approach the next signal not exceeding 15 miles per hour, which is why we got dropped to 15. So at the signal after that. So that's how that basically works. There you go. Fully entering Jamaica now. I'm going to start slowing down. We do need to stop by the 45 seconds. I'll apply the minimal brake so we can still get a little further along the platform as we slow down. In fact, I'm going to coast a little bit now because I'm going very, very slowly. So we're going to coast a little bit more. And then we're going to put that building in the center of those 2 cars and bring it to a stop. It's now going back to the 5th car, but that's okay. I'm okay with this location. So arriving at Jamaica track number 2. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at Jamaica once again. Jamaica. Our next stop is Woodside. Gonna bring the speed down quickly, and we're gonna have the dip of death here that kills so many career runs. So as we approach the downhill, small downhill segment, we are a slow clear, by the way. So as we approach that small downhill segment, I'm going to bring the brake on a little bit just to make sure we don't break the speed limit. We're hitting that downhill now, so I'm going to go ahead and bring it off to a 13 for right now. We're going to let the speed increase slightly on this downhill. We're going to probably need at least one correction as we continue along towards the J mainline track 3 interlocking. Actually, I'm going to need a second correction, so here's the second correction now. We are on the 1.4 gradient fully right now, so that's an uphill gradient, I believe, not a downhill gradient, because we did cross into the uphill. So we have successfully negotiated the dip of death, and I'm going to now be entering an 80, so we can start increasing, now that we're going uphill, of course, naturally. As you can see, I hit a 20-mile-per-hour section here, so I'm increasing the speed just a little bit. I'm not keeping the throttle back and forth at 15. We're now allowed 20. I'm going to go 20. And now I'm allowed 40, so I'm going to go 40. Let's go into full power for a moment. I'm going to ease it back as we approach 40. I'm not even close to 40. Why did I ease it back? Good question, me. So now I'm into 31. Let's just go ahead and keep going up slowly at this point. Woodside is 5 minutes away in terms of our stop time. We are going to get some time going 80 coming up. So we should be able to make that time back nicely if we need to make any additional time. We're coming up to our 40 right now. Ooh, I managed to bring it back just in time to a coast at 40.8. So we're going to go ahead and move it back into full power again as we get into the 80s. Right now, let's go. Clear signal. We are all set now to get speed. Because speed is good. That's all that needs to be said. Speed is good. Speed. There's another clear signal. And here comes Kew Gardens. Coming in Jamaica, you actually get slowed down at the signal before Kew Gardens, so you have to go down to 70 in the other direction. So you actually get to go through increasing speed from the Jamaica side. I like that the waypoints are set up on each station to give you an idea where you are as you do the journey. That's a really nice touch, I think. Because now I can tell you for sure, without having to guess, that we are going to be going by Forest Hills. I'm going to try and get you a shot that we had in the TSW video. Let's go ahead and try and get that same shot. So here we come up on Kew Gardens, or Forest Hills right now. So the next station we're going to see is Woodside, and we are again stopping at track 3 as we reviewed back at Jamaica. I'm dropped a little speed going through the station there, so we're going to cut ourselves back up to at least 79. Woodside is about 3 miles away from our present heading. And I'm actually taking this on a second cut, and the reason I'm taking this on a second cut now, even though I already had to stop at Woodside in that previous recording, I didn't save there, and it turns out that when I went to get a shot entering the Woodside tunnels, all of a sudden I found an out-of-memory error. So it will happen. Sometimes you have the game will be too strong for your computer settings, and or for what the game is capable of producing, and As a result, you're going to have to come back and redo stuff, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I have to come back and redo it if I want to finish it. Now, the cause of that is often when you try to get certain kinds of camera shots. If you stay in the cab most of the time, you're not going to have an issue. But as soon as you go looking at the camera outside and you start making the game load in a bunch of assets, that's where the out-of-memory error usually happens. And the problem with video production is you have to go for those out-of-cab shots once in a while for interest. So that's what I'm trying to do, and I'm paying for it by having to redo scenarios. Excuse me. So we're going to get dropped to a 60, which means we're going to get 70 at this signal. I didn't even think about that. There it is. I'm going to have to bring it down to 60 anyway, so doing it a little early. But there it is done. We're going to try and do a nice, quick, sharp stop at Woodside. Stop it. Yeah, I know I'm going 60, I'm aware. 0.7 uphill gradient, minimal power does nothing on that, but that's okay, I just want to maintain. If I go to 35%, you can see I'm slowly increasing again. Now we're 0.3 of a mile out, let's start braking now. Just a small break for right now, because we are on... Well, the uphill's actually straightened out a little bit, so we were on an uphill. Going to increase that brake application just a little bit to 30% now. Moving up to a 40. We're going to see how we're doing. We're going to assess in a moment whether that's a good stop. Moving it back up to a 25 as we are coasting in. I'm going to go to the end of the platform here. Look at this. Now, I'm stopping about where I did on my first run. So this is actually about identical. The only difference is I'm stopping right on time, not a few seconds late like I did in the other attempt. So we're seeing a right on time stop at Woodside, track number 3. Leaving Woodside, our next and final stop is New York Penn, stopping today at track number 17. You may remember, as we now go under the standard green-red signal here, you may remember that way back at Penn there were 2 trains here. There's still one here, the one to Long Beach. It's actually, by the way, 2 words, just for the scenario designer's benefit. Long Beach is 2 words. We're still back here, and that's where we're heading right now. We're heading to New York Penn, next to that train, heading to Long Beach. So if you ever want to put in Long Beach, ladies and gentlemen, in a scenario, it is 2 words. If you're searching for Long Beach Station, it's 2 words, not 1 word. We're getting close to the 60 limit, so I'm going to actually go ahead and move it to a minimal power setting for right now. I expect to lose a little speed on this uphill coming into Harold Airlocking. We're going under a little bit of a tunnel area here. While we're seeing nothing, that's where Sunnyside Junction, the Sunnyside merge comes in. It's referred to on the Open Railway map as Sunnyside Junction, but I'm told that's not the correct name for it, so apparently we don't use that name. But Harold Airlocking, we definitely use that name. This is Harold Airlocking coming up. Each airlocking tends to have its own building. I don't see it on this part of the screen here, so I'm not 100% sure where it's located. I may have already missed it. So there's a track over there already going into the tunnel. If I go and lollygag out the window, you can actually see it going down and hiding down there. So that track is gone. It's dead to us now. In fact, if we look at where it went, it's actually going to now apparently join our track. Another track. Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but another tunnel joined us. Sunnyside Yard is to our north right now. You can see it up there. We're going to be entering the East River tunnels. Our ETA is looking really good right now. We're a whole minute ahead, so I'm going to slow things down just a little bit because I know we're going to have an increase on these tunnels, on the downhill to these tunnels. And there is the downhill I'm fearing. Let's take one more shot at the train as it goes down into the tunnels. And there it goes. Now we're fully encased in concrete. Have to blow the whistle. Just in case there's some idiot on the tracks in here trying to be brave. He's being foolhardishly stupid if he's in here. I think it's more for construction work because there was a bit of an expansion project. It's still going on, in fact. So I think their whistle is actually partly for construction workers who might be in the tunnel as well, so they know to get the heck out of the way if they're in here. I know that's the case around Boland's Landing. Their whistle board's going under the bridge there, and it might be harder for anyone working in that area on construction projects. It might be harder for them to see a train coming. So whistle boards are there to tell people, get out of the way. So you see the 15 coming up. You can imagine what's going to happen starting at the next signal. The signal's going to probably give us a 70 warning since we're currently under an 80. It's okay, we're not going 70. I brought the speed down a wee bit unnecessarily because we're going to be on an uphill here anyway. You can see New York Penn ahead. You can see the West Side Yard location we're going to be stopping at up ahead as well. We're going to start slowing down now because we got 3 whole minutes to do this. And we're only 0.8 of a mile away. So we're going to get slowed anyway. There's the slowdown. That was a 40 we're getting slowed down to. As usual, when we get slowed down by the train, we get pulled to at least a 35 before we're allowed to put power on again. That, I believe, is the Long Beach train already leaving. There's the Long Beach train. So New York Penn is now going to be empty, which is not normal for New York Penn. I mean, it can service about 20, 30 trains an hour. It's just hard to put them all in a scenario. 15 is coming up. We might get a 30 drop here, or we might get drop right to 15. I don't know. Nope, it was 30. I went to slow down anyway. It was a 30 anyway. Now we're 0.3 of a mile away from the station. So we're still doing pretty good. We got 2 minutes to make our stop. The ETA is getting a little bit slower, which is unfortunate for us. But we're now down at the 15 we want to be at, so we're good to go. We're getting a green signal into the station, so we are clear. And I already knew that because we looked ahead at the station. We saw nobody was at the station at all. So there's nobody to wait for here. Warning of the 15. Warning again of the 15. Thank you. 2 warnings for the 15 because both had a setting, see? And the second one actually got rid of the cab speed because now we're going to be in a yard setting, pulling into Penn. We don't have a track speed to follow anymore because we just have to follow train speed into Penn. So we're pulling up now to platform number 17. If we lollygag out the window for a moment. You saw something go by there. Let's just take a look over there. That's the whole of New York Penn over there. And on this side, that's the whole of New York Penn's northern section over here. There we go. Enough lollygagging. We should not be sticking our tongue out the window. I don't think that was my stop sign, so we're good. This may be my stop sign, right here. Look out the window to verify. That's not look out the window. This is look out the window, and I don't see it anymore. So that was probably my stop sign. But we're stopping here anyway. We're doing good. And you can see the next signal is showing the green for us already. So let's go ahead and open the doors as we arrive at New York Penn and finish the passenger service. I didn't know we still had a guard right now, but apparently we do. Leaving New York Penn, track 17. Our destination is now Woodside Yard. And I looked ahead at Woodside Yard, and it's pretty crowded today. So I thought I better put down a save at New York Penn just in case. Just in case load anything happens. I'm going to stay in the cab because we kind of don't have a choice anyway. We're not going to be able to really get a view of our cab as we go through this tunnel area down here. But I want to be safe just in case the trains in the yard cause problems when it comes time to actually show them on camera. So we're going to just not take any chances on loading issues right now. We're not with a perfect score in the bank right now. So there is a slow clear signal. I almost called it a restricted signal, but it's a slow clear signal. So we're able to proceed now into Woodside Yard. I did check the junctions. They were all set correctly by default. I have a feeling the reason we were told to check the junctions way back at Belmont, by the way, was because the junctions were probably not set for us, and now when you see the scenario now, obviously it is set for us because it was set for us when we went. But it is proper to tell people to check the junctions even if they're set for you, because you never know if some idiot might actually have changed them after they were set for you, and you have to make sure that your junctions are set. Even if someone tries to help you out and tells you they're set, if you don't verify they're set yourself and you try to run over the wrong junction the wrong way, you're going to be responsible for it. Because you're the one in control of the train, you're the one who is ultimately the authority on your destination. So if you follow the wrong path and you blindly don't realize you're doing it, you're responsible for making the mistake. So here's one of those 8 or 9 trains that's hanging out in the yard today. I think we're number 9 now. We're not going to really see the other ones here, but I am going to try to pull up to the end of where this one is at least when I come to a stop. I don't know how long this train is offhand. I want to say it's 8 cars as well. It could be 10. Could be a rare 12. I don't know. Oh, I almost sped. Look at that. We're on flat ground right now, and I was not expecting the that kind of increase because we got to flat ground a lot earlier than I thought we were going to. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just coast right now because we're really going at a good speed now. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and lower my speed. We got 4/10 of a mile to go before we hit the buffer. Before we have a boing. That train is very, very close to the end of the buffer on that side. Look at this. Just look at this. Yeah, I don't feel confident enough to go that far back, but we're going to go ahead and go a little bit in. That'll do. That's far enough. Just as it disappears in the window is perfect. Let's take one last look. Elite Gamer Mode, ladies and gentlemen. I actually am in front of that train. I have done the impossible. Let's turn the headlights off, because we're done with that. And let's turn the train off, because we're done with that. So we're just going to wait for the scenario to finish now. And there it is. Well done, engineer. That was a good run into Penn Station. Should be a capital S. Our turn is done, so we can clock off and go home. Excellent. So we're going to clock off and go get paid, I guess, with our score. So let's go to the menu screen and take a quick look at that. And then I'll talk about what we're going to probably do going forward with this route, because there is a couple more things I want to do with this route before I move on. So let's take a look here. The core bug strikes again, ladies and gentlemen, but in a different way than it did last time. Look at this. We scored 1,000, 0 XP gained. I don't know, guys. I really don't know what you're supposed to do. I don't get the experience. Have I already... I didn't complete this scenario yet, so I don't understand why I'm not getting the XP for this scenario. I'm going to assume there's just a problem with the way this scenario is set up on the back end, because I should be getting the experience on this. So I'm going to report that. I'm going to see if that is a problem on DTG's end, and if it is, then I'm going to be able to come in and get that experience later on. Again, the experience doesn't matter. I just want the gold star. So the experience doesn't really matter, but at the same time, being able to show that everything works is kind of good to do, and I'm showing right now that everything is not working. So yeah, everything is not working. This is not an edited scenario. This is not a different code than it should be under. It is the official one. If I go to edit this scenario, it's probably not going to let me. So, or on the other hand, maybe there were fixes being made to this scenario at the last minute. They forgot to put the code back on this scenario. That could be it as well. It's still early enough to release. That could be a possibility. I will report it. I'll see what they say. But in the meantime, I do have my gold star, and that is good to go. And I'm going to keep the save game for this one in case I do need to go back and get the experience on it. So my save game is going to sit there anyway. In the meantime, let's look at what we have to do next time, and I'm going to then do a brief just chit-chat about what else might be coming up in this as well. So here we are. You can see that I have 5 of those 7 stars. Even though I did get my 1,000 points in these, the game did not want to register them. So what I'm going to do before I come back for the Railfan mode, I'm going to come back and actually run a clone of each Railfan, just because I'm going to do it for research anyway. I want to do some research anyway before I actually talk about all the trains. So I'm going to go ahead and take my filming research for these Railfans by cloning one onto each of these 2 scenarios that is not currently starred. I'm going to go ahead and let them generate the stars, and then I'll give you the official commentary version of those Floral Park and Forest Hills. I'm also going to have a Jamaica one that is on the standard tab. That one could not be set up apparently as a career scoring. And again, I don't know why they're not all standard scoring to start with, but standard mode to start with, because you don't do anything in them. But I'm going to take advantage of the fact that we have the career versions here, and I'm going to go ahead and fix the bug on these other scenarios, because why not? It saves me having to create something and do the same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. What we're going to do next time is look at the work of those Railfan scenarios. I'm going to probably take a couple days to set up my script for this one. And then we're going to look at all 3 videos at once. All 3 scenarios at once in one video, just like we did back on the Leipzig to Risa route, where we also had... Actually, we did the Railfans on the Dresden section, I remember. So it was not the Leipzig side. There were going to be a separate video on the Leipzig one. But we have just the 3 Railfans here. We're going to look at those. Floral Park, Forest Hills, and Jamaica. Just to remind you where they all are, Floral Park is where the Hempstead line heads off. So we're going to see some Hempstead trains, I'm sure, going by, and vice versa. And we're going to see trains to Ronkonkoma, I'm pretty sure. Forest Hills, we're not going to see the Atlantic Terminal stuff because that's on the Penn Station branch. So we're not going to see the Hempstead stuff there. We're not going to see the Atlantic Terminal stuff like Far Rockaway. We're going to see instead trains coming to and from Penn, between Penn and Jamaica. And then we're going to get to see Jamaica itself, and pretty much everything goes through there. We can have pretty much anything coming through Jamaica. So that's going to be the highlight of the journey on the Railfans. That's going to therefore be the last one we do. We are going to do the Railfans next time. We're going to do a workshop scenario on Sunday, and we might do more next week. Because I really am enjoying this route. I want to show you some custom user content, and maybe even try and create something myself. That might be what I do on Wednesday, try to make something for myself. So we'll see what ends up happening with this. In the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful day, evening, or night, whatever it is for your part of the world. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. If today has already passed and Saturday has already come, then you're going to find the Railfan scenarios behind this on the playlist. It's going to be a couple days before I actually record them, because I'm taking a rest now that I've done all 7 scenarios. But once I've got them recorded, I'm going to go ahead and have it right after this one a day later, and then the workshop one will be following. So make sure you stay tuned. The playlist is not done yet. We're going to have the Railfan scenarios coming up in 3, 2, 1.